Hey, folks, this clip is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com and type in promo code VOLS, that's VOLS, at checkout to fill your freezer with enough gourmet food to keep your cookouts going strong into the fall. That is omahasteaks.com, promo code VOLS.
And somebody in the comments, I can't find it, they asked if Georgia is going to sell out to stop one, what would you prefer it be, the run or the pass? And it's a really good question because
Pass.
Tennessee's making it splash plays down the field in the passing game.
Because
Obviously,
Jalen Hyatt can just beat you straight up physically. And I don't think
Yeah.
that Georgia has a dude to stop Hyatt. I don't think they do.
I don't think so either. So I feel like if they're stopping the run, it probably means that they're having to load the box. So I think you're going to be able, and if they're loading the box, you can beat them in one-on-one matchups, and you're going to get Hyatt where you want him. They've made Alabama look silly. They've made Kentucky. I'm not saying Georgia will look just as bad, but we saw it last year at times when Georgia would get confused. I mean, they're running these plays so fast that the defense doesn't really have time to get set and communicate with each other on who needs to do what. And that's why you're seeing Hyatt get matched up on safeties, or safeties like they're worried about the underneath stuff, which kind of blows my mind that teams are even focusing on the underneath stuff. Just like let them have it, because you don't want to get beat down the field. But you're seeing them get so concerned with it that safeties aren't dropping into coverage or dropping down the field to stop this stuff over the top at all.
And when Tennessee gets into that, specifically when it's Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt in that stack on the sideline and Hyatt's behind Tillman, they did this twice against Kentucky, and Jalen Hyatt scored a touchdown on both. When they
the
do
one
that,
time they just switched spots right in front of the defenders, which was, I mean, it seems so simple. Yeah, but it worked.
It throws these guys through a loop, and it ended up in one of them, a linebacker was on Jalen Hyatt, and that's a joke. I mean, that's not going to work. and it just even if you have the dude to stop a Jalen Hyatt physically in that scenario, they're using a scheme that's going to confuse you, and you may be able to defend it. You may be able to, but they are in that scenario. Tillman and Hyatt are at a market advantage, and don't think they're not. And I wanted to address this. We got a few Georgia fans actually listening right now. I mean, we don't discriminate. Appreciate it. This guy, SWGA, says, it seems like Tennessee fans act like this is Kirby's first time playing the Heupel offense. We played this same team last year. No, you did not. You didn't. You did not play this team last year. And you must have not been here earlier in the show, because I explained this. I said this all last week before Kentucky. Kentucky fans thought they were playing the 2021 Tennessee team coming in, and they thought they were going to be able to put up 45 points, and Tennessee maybe will score 48. That's what they thought was going to happen. You are wrong. That's not correct. And don't assume that. Yeah, and he's responding here. He says it's the same players. It is. Guess what? They're way, way better now. And the scheme is way better. And they're far more experienced. And they can, specifically the things that I was saying earlier, they can move the ball in short yardage. And they can run right at you. And they have an offensive line that moves earth. And they have these dudes that win in the trenches. They win on the wings. They win in the backfield. And they will beat you. Like this, I know this comes off, it's a Tennessee show, we're orange colored glasses. This is not the same team. And if you go and talk to somebody that knows football better, they'll tell you that's wrong. I mean, that is just not correct. It's fall is in the air, and that means fall grilling with cookouts, tailgate parties, and so much more. Luckily, the flavor experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to savor all the flavors of fall with their mouthwatering assortments of perfectly aged steaks, ultra juicy burgers, and easy-to-prepare comfort meals that are ready in a flash. And now is the perfect time to load up on all this incredible flavor and take advantage of 50% off site-wide by shopping their friends and family sale. Go to omahasteaks.com and use my promo code VOLS, that is VOLS, at checkout and get $30 off your order. And guys, I've said it in these ads for weeks now. I've had all of the stuff from Omaha Steaks. I can't endorse it enough. Everything has been high quality. It comes right to your door, so easy and convenient, and I mean, most importantly, tasty. So I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. So don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com and stock up today. Omaha Steaks isn't just steak. It's the best steak of your life, guaranteed. And don't forget to score that extra $30 off your order when you use VOLS at checkout, VOLS. Omaha Steaks is perfect for those chilly and busy fall nights. You won't come close to getting this kind of quality at the grocery store. Visit omahasteaks.com. Promo code VOLS at checkout. Minimum order may be required. Omaha Steaks.
I
Not.
think the best way to put it, without giving away what our game picks here that we're going to make in a few minutes, that Tennessee team last year, I did not think was capable of beating Georgia, and
No.
I mean, I think that was apparent if you watched the game. They had some success. They moved the ball better than most teams have against Georgia, but they still were nowhere close to beating Georgia. I don't know what will happen Saturday. I mean, anybody that says they do is foolish because you just don't know how the game will play out. But I do believe this team is capable of beating Georgia. They beat Alabama. They went toe to toe with them. They got in a shootout. They outlasted them. They've beaten LSU on the road. They've won these big games that last year they're not winning. They weren't in the Alabama game last year. They lost to Florida by multiple scores. They probably would have lost to LSU even with Ed Ogeron being a lame duck there. They just weren't in the same position. So you're right. It's the same players. It's the same coaches, but they know what they're doing. They're comfortable in it. They've worked this system out. They've added stuff to it. I think what you saw last year is Heupel. Part of the reason it worked is he didn't try to make it too complicated. He didn't try to put too much on them in year one. They ran a lot of basic stuff in his offense that they're still running this year, but they've added so much to it and they're executing it, and players are where they need to be. And there aren't these miscommunications. There aren't players that are unsure of what to be doing in every situation. Like, these guys are focused. I mentioned it earlier, that play where Hendon Hooker snuck it on fourth down was a perfect example of everybody knew exactly what to do in that situation. They're all on the same page. There's no looking to the sideline. They know we're at the 50. It's fourth and short. We're lining up. We're going for it. There is no question. There is no hesitation. And that's why it works better this year, is because they have that trust in each other. And it's so smooth. I mean, it's so smooth to be able to do that without time running off the clock, or much time running off the clock. It's amazing, and that's been coaching, and it's been players buying in. They're more comfortable in the system. I'm not saying Tennessee will or won't win on Saturday, but it is a much different team than what Georgia faced last year.
Yeah. I just don't assume that. And that's not, we're about to make our predictions. That's not to say that I think Tennessee's going to win by 2 touchdowns or something. But it is a fool's errand to just go, oh, this is the same team as last. That's exactly what Kentucky did. You know what Tennessee did? Beat their head in. Yeah. That's what they did. It's a family show. Call myself. They beat the friggin' bricks off them. That's what they did. So don't. And I know Kirby is not. I gave Kirby credit in that he acknowledged what Tennessee's offense is in his press conference. He knows.
I think Kirby, I mean, I've been critical of Kirby in the past by saying, oh, they just have the best players. But he's a good coach, because we've seen talent squandered. We've seen elite talent squandered. We've seen it happen in Knoxville with Butch Jones, with a team that properly coached could have been in the playoff that season, but they didn't have a good coach. Kirby's a smart guy. He's a very good defensive mind. At this point in time, I would say that what he's doing, is better, not better than Nick Saban in his prime, but he's better than current Nick Saban. I would give him that at this point, with what he's getting out of his players and the way he's running his program. I would say that it's a much tougher. This is the toughest challenge that Tennessee will face this season, without a doubt.
Well, let's get to what we think will happen in this game. Zach, you got somewhere to be, so we got to go ahead and wrap it up here. Tramel says, "Watch the F-bombs." It was half the word.
We've been doing this for over 2 years, 2.5, almost 3 years.
It's the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah, and we've only been doing it live for a couple of months, and even non-live, Charlie never went there. But that's what happens when Tennessee is 8-0 heading into November with number 1, number 2 showdown.
It's just how passionate I get when specifically talking about Kentucky. Dude, Kentucky fans, they get me going. And somebody, this is actually perfect right here. Aaron Duck says, when are you guys going to go on the Talk and Vol show with Boogie Bentley? Funny you should mention that. Stand by, watch the channel, this channel, for developments as far as that goes.